Thursday afternoon. We've got Christian doing some manual labor today, away
Earning
from the
that
office.
cheese.
Yeah, yes. We said, hey, we're going to need you to go do something. So, but he will be back tomorrow, Friday edition. So you'll have to put up with Ben and I for today, and then of course you'll turn right back around and hear us on 3 Now coming up, starting at 3:00. So plenty to get to. I feel like we're like obliged to talk about Georgia football in Christian's absence because Christian will say, "Look, when I'm on the show, I'm an analyst. But I get that, but you also love Georgia football, so it's like I feel like then we're almost obliged to talk about it."
Of course, there's no way you could do a second down. I mean, listen, and Christian ain't fooling me. Christian somewhere handling business, which he'll be back tomorrow, saying they better say something about Georgia. They better say something. I mean, you got to no, but I mean, Georgia. I think if I'm not mistaken, Kevin, I think they're going to the square numbers or something like that. I think I seen Georgia's gonna find a way to be in the news for something, And hey, the spring they got, now it's about getting getting guys back healthy. Definitely that tight end room. Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington. Obviously, Eric Gilbert is going to be a big focal point. Are they going to get back to running the football? I mean, guys like Carter and Nolan Smith and those guys. I mean, Georgia's going to be Georgia. I think that real similar to Kevin, what we were saying about the Braves is Braves ain't been in this position a long time to be defending World Series champs. Now, 13, 14 games in the season. And we're going to get to that on, 3 and out. It's been a little different. Georgia's got it used to being, literally, no pun intended, the top dog. I mean, this year. And we'll see how they handle that. Because, Kevin, it's one thing to say, we almost got there. It's almost like Georgia has been in that almost position for so long that now they're saying, all right, dude, we got there. Now what's going to be, what's going to be the second act? Because now with Kirby Smart, I mean, while the pressure was on to win it, now it's there to sustain it. Sustainability is probably the hardest thing there is to do, not just in sports, but in life. So now, do they got staying power, which I think they do, but ain't no Jordan Davis, ain't no Nakobe Dean, ain't no, Travon Walker. I mean, Travon Walker gonna get drafted over Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis. That's to show you how incredibly sick that defense was last year. Gonna have some big shoes to fill this year. I think Georgia's gonna be fine, but who's gonna be the backup quarterback? Which quarterback's gonna stay if they are not, said to be the backup quarterback? Are they going to go to more throwing the football with a balance of the run, or do they get back more to the run with the balance? Is this three-headed monster at tight end real? And hey, man, how what type of performance is this defense going? Because they're going to be under a lot of pressure, not to repeat what they did in 2021, but to not be that big, not that much of a step down.
Yeah, I know there's people that are. I mean, it is the internet, and the internet is undefeated when it comes to ridiculous takes, but I'm sure there are some people that will be in the stands saying, we gave up a touchdown. What? Like, it's going to happen. It's okay. It's like, it doesn't mean you're a bad defense at the end of the day. But yeah, I think to me, that's the interesting part is not so much, Ben, do they win the national championship again? Because that was, that's been an expectation at Georgia for a while. And as Kirby Smart has said, I don't think that changes just because you win one, right? Like Nick Saban would never come out and be like, yeah, I got 5. So we're really not too concerned about, getting the next one. Now, privately, he may feel that way, and maybe that takes a lot of the pressure off when you got 5. But as well as I know, there are Alabama fans go, Nick's got 5, we want 6. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see how much the unrealistic bar got set there at Georgia last year. Not from certain standpoint, but that defense, you just can't expect. I mean, even at Alabama, you see great defenses. Not every year like that. Alabama's had some great defenses. Some years it's just really good. Not exceptional, like Georgia's defense was a year ago. So I'm interested to see if there's a perception that they're not as good because, I mean, good Lord, they got to give up more points almost. I mean, they didn't give up anything for 14, 15 games on the whole. So I'm interested to see how the perception is handled versus what the reality is, because the reality is they're still a very, very good team. Mm-hmm. They're going to be one of the top 3 teams preseason when the polls come out, which means you're probably a favorite. You are a favorite to get into playoff, which means you're a favorite to win the whole thing. So I'm just interested to see how fair, because it never ceases to amaze me. Like, even fans like Alabama who win all the time, you lose the wrong game and it's, what in the world happened? That should, like, come on, man. Like, you can't just go out there and win every single time in dominating fashion, 58-0. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, now Kevin, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said perception versus reality. So this is where, when I think about social media and these fan bases, this is where they get to go to vent their frustrations, their displeasures, what they love and hate. Because no, make no mistake about it, your biggest criticism and your biggest support is going to come from the same place, your fan base. If you are Georgia, they have never been one to mince words. They have never been one to say, okay, this is where we at. This defense this year is going to realize, hey, social media might not be for you. Might want to take a year off, because now you guys were giving up nothing last year. Outside of the Alabama game, outside the SEC championship game, you didn't give up anything. Anything. You're blanking the teams to 0 points. But I do think that the defense is going to take a step back, as all defenses do when you talk about replacing the guys they're replacing. But then, what is going to be the offensive identity? Because I think that when you look at what Brock Bowers was able to do last year, and look, to those people, Kyle Pitts, when he was at Florida, was a Blitnikoff, semifinalist. He was a Maxwell Award semifinalist. Was he going to win the Maxwell Award? No. Was he going to win the Blitnikoff? No. So this notion of Brock Bowers being a Heisman Trophy finalist, stop it. I love Brock Bowers. Love the tight end position. But come on, man. And here's another thing, too. Stetson Bennett's going to be a Heisman. Stop it. Because I think what happens is, Kevin, there are certain trends that happen, right? JT Daniels was the front runner to win the Heisman going into 2021. Based off of what? Oh, George Pickens, Burton, Bowers, Washington, Zamir White, James Cook didn't even play. So I played in the first game and not so much after that. I think that when you think about this Georgia team, it's like something Ron Zook used to tell me when we played: stay away from the headlines. And now you're going to get a lot of them. They're coming from a lot of different ways, because I don't know when the last time Georgia had a Heisman Trophy candidate, let alone a front runner. Outside of, Brock Bowers, definitely going to be a headline to be a first-team All-American to win the John Mackey Award. Just stay away from the individual accolades. Go out there and get it done, because the best two players on the planet in college football play for Alabama.
Very, very, very true. I'm interested. Like I said, I think this year for Georgia is more about keeping it in perspective to the reality of the situation, which you're very good, and not letting the perception, the yahoos on the internet run off with what's happening. And again, I know sometimes it's easier said than done. Today, Ben, also, I don't celebrate. Is it Bulldogs are cute day? I think that's something that's double. So I don't know.
Bulldogs are cute.
Let me find it. It's today.
Not all Bulldogs.
No, none of them usually. National Bulldogs are beautiful day.
Okay. Let me just go ahead. Let me just go ahead and make this confession.
There are people that like Bulldogs, but
I like Bulldogs.
You had a Bulldog.
Yeah, I had a Bulldog, and I had a Bulldog back in the day.
I think it's the wrinkle face.
I had a Bulldog back in the day. She was an English Bulldog. Her name was Fancy. Little Brimmer Bulldog. And hey, listen. All I remember was this. I had a Bremer Bulldog. I don't even know what made me even get a dog. I was getting ready to go to the Super Bowl, not to play, but I was going down there down there in Miami when Chicago was playing Peyton Manning and those guys with the Colts. Bought a Bulldog. I saw it, went, saw the breed, I said, oh man, got the dog. Fell in love with my dog. Then I realized how busy I am in an off season. Took my dog to my mom's house. Now, I'm not going to say what happened to Fancy when she got to my mama's house. All I will say is, I want my money. Mama, you know what I'm talking about. I want my cheese.
She just kept the dog.
Yeah. Because the thing was, right, you go from, now my yard, I had a fenced-in backyard in Nashville, but it's cold. My mama ain't got a fence. My mom don't have a fence, but you know how like other people's yards around your yard got fences, so it's kind of like fencing yours in. My mom got a big backyard, and she get to roam. Plus, Fancy is a girl. Mama had a boy dog, so Fancy got found him a little boo thing. Because when I went to see her, I'm like, Fancy, come in. What's wrong with you? She looked at me. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she kept looking back. I'm looking at my mama dog like, Mama, what? brainwash my dog. But no, I will say, listen, certain French bulldogs can be cute in the face, depending on maybe an all white one or all brown one. All black all black Frenchies look like bat. They look like a little bat in the face. They do.
I know. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Just know this. You can't just throw beautiful on stuff and it is.
No.
I'm sick of that.
No. I mean,
I'm
sure bulldogs are fine dogs, but it's like
bulldogs are interesting.
There you
because,
go.
Because the thing is, if you see one, you look. A bulldog has a very I don't know, these facial expressions. And for those who've never had a bulldog, make sure you got pet insurance because they will be going to the vet a lot. I mean, they go to the vet for everything. So no, too much high maintenance for me. They're beautiful because they're yours. No, that's not something that's ugly in the face. You just call it beautiful. That's all you're doing. Fancy, I miss you. You know it's all love. They
just have a sour look on their face. That's all.
No matter what.
They do.
And the most pampered of them all is Uga. I know he's a dog, if you want to call him that, because dogs do things like run, fetch. No, he runs 2 feet.
Yeah.
He used to sit on the ice. Now he has an air condition. Now when he saw Bevo,
yeah, like who wants some?
When he saw Bevo, he like, man, we got to take a picture. Hey, look at that thing. Bevo.
Yeah, they did not like each other.
And Uga tore his hamstring trying to get away from him.
Needless to say. Hey, we got so much more to get to here on Second Down. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop. We are filling in for Christian Gokel. He will be back on the show tomorrow. We'll continue talking college football. Georgia Southern's got their spring game. We'll hear from Josh Aubrey coming up on 3 and Out. But do want to get Ben's thoughts on obviously the Clay Helton era, kind of really ramping up now that people can get a full look at what he's going to be all about there at Georgia Southern. We'll break that down. Next is 3 and Out. It's not 3 and Out. Doggone it, it's second down. We'll be right back. Good to have you back here, Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop. We are filling in for Christian Gokel here on this Thursday. He'll be back tomorrow here on Second Down. We've got, of course, 3 and Out coming up right around the corner. But Georgia Southern spring game, we'll talk to Josh Aubrey, Statesboro Herald, coming up on 3 and Out. But the debut of Clay Helton. I know he's been around a while, Ben. He got the jump on things while the season was still going on to watch. He got to do the full recruiting. And now he's going to finish up the full spring. But this is kind of the first visual look that people get at the product on the field and what it could be, in front of the masses when they have their spring game on Saturday. What are you kind of expecting? And when you're going through that transition, obviously you have talked about, hey, we went from fun and gun under Steve Spurrier to Ron Zook, who was like,
to no fun. I'm just playing.
Is that what he came walking? He said, "Fellas, fellas, you were in the fun and gun now."
What the thing is, Kevin, it's like this. It's almost like with Steve Spurrier, it was you already got this machine, and you say, okay, what? How does my piece fit this machine to keep it going, right? With Ron Zook, while the machine was there, we got to figure out how it really operates. I got to know what this button is. I got to know what makes this go, because it's one thing to come. It's almost like if I have something that's already established and I know what it is, and I'm asking, it's almost like I'm asking to quote other players, how do I fit? But then when I go from asking to, I got to be the one directing these players. I think what Coach Helton is, dude, you a high-profile coach coming from a high-profile P5, university. Now, you see, let's face it. I mean, Jared Binko, Coach Helton, they said shockwaves. Coach Helton going to Georgia Southern. And he's going to Georgia Southern win I must go ahead and say it, the best, G5 conference is the Sun Belt. I mean, take nothing, and the thing is, yes, it's still, Louisiana's won the last 2 years. App, I think it's still the class of the conference. Coastal Carolina has gotten good. I know Coach Helton is new, but he know about I-16. You got another GSU that you got a nice little rivalry going on with. Can he elevate it? Because it's not like Georgia Southern don't got the players. It's not like Georgia Southern, but the conference is good. So I think what Coach Helton is, unfortunately, you look at what Kirby Smart had to do at Georgia, and nobody felt bad about it. You coming to Georgia Southern, because Coach Helton, let's face it, man, he could have went anywhere. That's no slouch to Georgia Southern. You go to Georgia Southern, all right. You want that smoke? What? I mean, I think now with Coach Helton, what I want to see, Kevin, is can you compete with this division? Because I get it, man. I mean, Georgia Southern's schedule ain't no slouch now. They're out of conference. But the in conference is just.
And you're adding what Marshall and
Old Dominion. So I think Georgia Southern play all of them. All the new guys.
I believe so. If not, they play 3 of the 4.
So I think what Coach Helton is, can you come in and be what you are? You're a seasoned vet in the coaching realm. You're highly respected. If you walk in the room, there go Coach Sweeney, there go Coach Smart, there go Coach Saban. That go Coach Lincoln Riley. That's Coach Helton. Like, you know who he is. That's a former USC coach. You got to, because think about it, Kevin, if our sons are going to Georgia Southern under one coach, and then we're like, man, who they going to get? They still want to go. They got Coach Helton. Okay, we feel good about that. So,
I could be wrong. I could be misreading the fan base here, but it seems like the fan base is finally open to something different other than what they've been used to. An option. I say that because way back when you went to Chris Hatcher. Chris Hatcher obviously does not run an option-based offense. He runs the hatch attack / air raid.
Mm-hmm.
And while he won games, he didn't win enough games. And folks like, we should never gone away from the option. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then you go back, you try Brian Van Gorder. Now, Brian Van Gorder's problem was he didn't run the option, and Brian Van Gorder wasn't what he wasn't a traditionalist. He wasn't one that kind of got the feels right in the heartstrings. So yellow school buses, what? Eagle Creek, that's a ditch. We're not like, you know what I'm saying? No, he didn't say it, but like that's kind of some of the truth where he's like, he didn't embrace a lot of that stuff, and it didn't go well. Then you go to Tyson Summers, and maybe that was just a bad coaching fit here, but you get the Willie Fritz, really good fit running the offense, and I thought what you've had at times here recently was pretty good, but now it seems like you've been more fully open to, all right, it doesn't have to be a Jeff Monken, Paul Johnson type guy running the option. We can adapt. we're in a state that produces college talent.
Yes.
There's still plenty
Yes.
for us to get ours, if that's a way to look at it. Like, obviously, Georgia, all the SEC teams, the ACC schools, Georgia Tech, they're going to recruit the state heavy. Ohio State gets guys from Georgia heavily recruited, but there's enough talent here for Georgia Southern to more than get theirs and be very, very competitive. And I think you look at Clay Helton, to me, that's the challenge. How are you recruiting Georgia, North Florida, kind of that fringe area, South Carolina, to get players to come in, buy into the system, and option or not, go out there and win football games? And I feel like fans are kind of behind that and the energy that Clay Helton brings to the table. But we're going to get our first look as to what it is. And people say, well, what's the big deal? I distinctly remember when Paul Johnson was hired at Georgia Tech, I was like, well, this ought to be interesting to see how it goes, transitioning to a school at the ACC. And so decided to go check out the spring game his first year. And you go to the spring game, and it was not much happening, a little clunkiness. And finally, you hear Paul Johnson yell, "Hey, run something they can do." So it's like, put something out there. Like, he knew, hey, it's just a spring game. But at the same time, the fans that are here want to see what it is.
Yes.
So they don't want it to be, hey, it's clunky and we're having trouble getting down the field and doing this and that. And they're like, well, it's spring. We're trying to figure out. No, we don't want an offense that's going to be like that. We want to see some flashes of what it can be. And I think that's the challenge for Clay Helton, because he's set up, offensively at least, just because of the way the past regimes ran their offense. You're set up to run the football. You have big, powerful running backs.
Yep.
You have offensive linemen that should be able to move and get to the next level. You really don't, unless you've recruited some, have wide receivers. And if you do have them, you got to change their mentality a bit, who are being still asked to block. I think that's the misconception. Is like, I'm a wide receiver, I hate blocking. Well, I don't care what team you play for. You better block at some point if you're a wide receiver. But you're going from wide receiver to say, look, I might catch 2 balls a game, to I might get 2 targets in a first drive. Just that mindset change. I think that's, to me, what I'm interested to see, how they find that personnel to fit what they're doing, because at least in year number 1, they're still set up to run the football a lot.
Yeah, which is a good thing for them. Like, while the easiest way to figure out an offense while they're trying to find his offensive identity is to run the football. You got offensive linemen that are built to run. You got receivers that want to catch the pass but are used to blocking, as you mentioned, Kevin. And I think the reason why you want to get away from the option is you want to get away from the thing that worked really, really good before you got there. Because if you don't do it as well, you can't get away from that either. Yeah. And I look at it as a division. Within the division, you want to be able to recruit and play similar to the guys around you, because like I know, Kevin, if the transfer portal, which is going to be something Helton is going to use, I want a guy to come to me because we do what y'all do over there. Not, well, I want to come coach, but y'all run something totally different. You run the option. You are looking for a specific type of athlete compared to, hey man, we can run the. Who says we can't run the option out of a spread? With that, we can still do it. That's just not all we do. Because we got linemen.
It's more of a wrinkle as opposed to like a base principle, yeah.
The last thing any D lineman want to do is get cut. They don't want to deal with that. But I do think what Helton is doing is saying, I'm trying to get more to a spread pro style offense with a option, element to it. We can still do it. But I think that Helton understands, man, if you're gonna win or lose, you better do it your way. You better do it, because people go, well, why aren't they running the option at Georgia Tech? Because Paul Johnson didn't run the option. He did it at a level that nobody did it at. Like, it's not like they just ran it well. No, they ran it exceptionally well. And the thing is, I'm gonna just do that. Yeah, but just because Paul Johnson leave, another person come in, he wanted to look a certain way, and he perfected it. Paul Johnson on the show with Tommy Bowden, and all I'm saying, yeah, y'all think that thing ain't working. Y'all ain't like playing us though. So I think what Coach Helton is, he's saying, look, I'm looking at the landscape of college football. I'm looking at the landscape of the Sun Belt. Outside of the University of Georgia, man, there is no more prestigious university in the state outside of Georgia Tech than Georgia Southern. So we need to be able to recruit to beat Louisiana, to beat App, to beat Coastal, to beat Georgia, GSU, Georgia State. So I think, Kevin, he wants to recruit at a level to where he's not limited. And I think that's what he's going to do. But unfortunately for Coach Helton, whether where he come from or who he is, you don't get no mulligans. You got to come out year 1 right, wrong, indifferent. I don't think you got to win the conference, even though Georgia Southern, if you want to win it. But you got to show promise early. And I think with this offense, you want to at least know what it looks like, because the one thing we know about any team, you give us the team, I can tell you what they do. But with Georgia Southern, I can't really tell you what they do yet. That's the biggest mystery of, I want to know what they do, because once they decide this is it, hey man, you'll kind of know what to expect moving down the stretch.
And it sounds like, at least in the last scrimmage, a little more incorporation of a tight end, which makes Ben
Absolutely
happy on the show.
You want to win, put the athletes in.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Throw it to them every time. They're always open, never covered. That's what I've learned with Ben being on the show. Tight ends always open, never covered.
Swiss Army knives. I mean, the thing about it, we're bigger than the linebackers. We're bigger than the safeties. We're not faster than these people, but it's almost like we're essentially basketball players playing football, because we use body control to get open, right? Look at Travis Kelce, look at Darren Waller, look at those guys, look at what they do. Now, Kyle Pitts he's a different breed. That kid there, it was a tight end party, and some people was in the shallow end, some people was in the deep end, some people put their feet in the water, some people was tripping, some people was, hey man, can you swim? All of a sudden you heard cannonball, and it was Kyle Pitts. So we'll see how that young man ends up. But I think that I incorporated, isn't it crazy, Kevin? The two new coaches in the state, Georgia Tech had to get tight ends. Georgia Southern got to get tight ends.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be different for them, because you're getting guys that coming in with a blocking mentality, saying, "Look, man, we're going to throw you a bone a little bit if you get out there." So we'll see. But I always like when tight ends get involved.
How much did that help? I know you have widely stated on the show, we're not a fan of putting your hand in the dirt and blocking necessarily. I'm not trying to make you sound bad, like, oh, Ben, no, like, you understand what your role is, just doing your favorite thing. And now you're going from that where, hey, we're going to throw the ball to you. Like, how much does that make a difference that, hey, if I can do what I need to do the dirty work, they're going to get me the football.
It's the best feeling in the world, because it shows that you've earned that distinction. The one thing I had to learn is blocking makes me a better pass catcher, because it makes my game, an all-around game. I'm not one-dimensional. Now, I'm gonna excel in one thing more than the next. That's any football player. But it's almost like you grinding every day, and all of a sudden you get a knock on the door. Head coach sticks his head in and go, "Hey, I'm gonna start. Listen, like the way you boys been practicing, gonna start throwing you guys the rock." What do you mean? Not just in team takeoff, or just us running plays on air. Like, we're gonna do 7-on-7, and if you guys can prove you can get open. And I think what happens is, now that your game goes to another level, Kevin, it's like, if you're a baseball player and coach say, "Listen, man, you got the green light, man. Show us that power. Don't be timid up here. You're gonna be a better player, because you want to do both." And mind you, man, you're not looking to be a superstar or a star, but Kevin, you know how it is. If you play a certain position and they only utilize you for one thing, it makes the fan base think that's all you can do. They can't get open. No. But when you start, they will, wait a minute. So that's what it is, hey, coach, my mom think I stink. What you mean? They say you never throw the ball to me. It's like, so give me a chance to show what I can do, and it's only going to make everybody better, because the ball, 80% of the balls get thrown in between the numbers and them hashes. That's what tight ends make their money at. Try to get them boys down that seam.
It is second down. I'm Kevin Thomas. He's Ben Troop. We are both trying to fill in as best we can for Christian Coquel. We'll be back in just a moment. to have you back here on Second Down, presented by the Uniform Source. I'm Kevin Thomas. He's Ben Troop. We are filling in for Christian Gokel here on this Thursday afternoon. And again, the draft, we are 1 week away. We'll talk about this on 3 and Out as well, Ben. And Georgia getting ready for a tremendous draft. We've talked about the number of players drafted out of Georgia. A lot of folks think there could be a record for Georgia, for guys taken in the first round, for guys taken total from one school. Obviously, if you're the national champions, you're going to have a lot of talent on your team. But Georgia getting ready to put a lot of guys into the league, including, again, I saw some of the betting odds out there for the Jags at number 1. And a lot of people still think it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson, but seemingly the betting money, for whatever that's worth, obviously Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson, they're the ones making the call. So whatever. But the betting money thinks if it's not Aiden Hutchinson, it's going to be Trayvon Walker. Could have the number 1 pick in the draft potentially a week from today.
If Trayvon Walker goes number 1, number 2, or number 3, if I'm not mistaken, he will be the highest drafted defensive player in Georgia history. I want to say Champ Bailey went like 4 or 5 when he came out of like 98 or something like that. So Trayvon Walker got a shot to be. Obviously they had the number 1 overall pick in Matthew Stafford back in the day, but that's offense. But if he goes number 2 or 3, which I don't see him going past 2 or 3, he's going to be the highest drafted defensive player in Georgia football history. You talk about Jordan Davis, you talk about Nakobe Dean, you talk about seeing those guys, you talk about. It's just too many. The thing about this Georgia team this year, look at the correlation. 2019 when LSU won that championship. Their whole freaking team got drafted. They had nobody outside of Derek Stingley, who was a true freshman. They had Kevin between that and the transfer portal. Think about this: Thaddeus Moss, the son of Randy Moss, played and didn't get drafted, and the backup tight end that didn't play did off that team. If you think about this Georgia team this year, Kevin, it just shows how great they were. Not good, but great. Jordan Davis. I don't know how big that Braves jersey was, but I know it was a big one that he had on. And that was a nice little strike he threw opening day. I'm always happy for these guys. I played against that 2001 Miami team in 2004. I think Miami still has the record for the most first round picks. I think they had 5 or 6 that year. I know that Auburn 2004, that 2005 class had 5. They had Jason Campbell. No, they had 4. Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown, Carlos Rogers, and Cadillac Williams. All I know is this: every kid that ever pick up a football wants to go pro. Every kid would love to go first round. Most kids just want to get drafted. These boys finna have what? 8, 9 picks in the top 100 picks. So think about that. Out of the 130 Division I schools, 10 of them are coming from one school. So when you start talking about the numbers and they start dwindling, Nakobe Dean, he might be the most impactful. Jordan Davis, he's the guy that's going to be a disruptor. Trayvon Walker is a freak. And the list goes on and on. We ain't even got to them freaking running backs yet. Zamir White, James Cook. George Pickens. George Pickens didn't play all year, go to the combine, run a fofo. It's a breeding ground, and I just think, Kevin, it just shows when people start saying, "Why do number 1 recruiting class matter?" Because you want to see them out. Listen, it's all about winning that championship. Georgia, check. It's all about winning. It's all about winning the headlines. Georgia, check. Georgia won the headlines when they weren't winning national championships. Now they're actually winning them. Now it's the draft. That's the culmination, right? Because watch all the major newspapers after the draft. Watch Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If it's a major newspaper outlet or news outlet in the state of Georgia, they're going to be saying, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, and so on and so on and so forth. That stuff matters, man. That stuff matters a lot because I know that if 10 guys coming from, good luck, 10 guys coming from.
It could be, yeah, very well, yeah.
Could be more than that, depending on. I just think that if you are Kirby Smart right now, he's winning all phases. Recruiting, check. SEC, listen, I didn't win the SEC yet, but I won the Natty. And for those who think, well, what is that? Well, the last time Georgia didn't win the Natty, they lost. They won the SEC. Ask Alabama. Alabama just did a ring ceremony with they SEC championship, which they nice. They are nice. I mean, Kevin, they're only getting bigger. They're only getting wider. Pretty soon,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna look like a full finger ring. But Georgia's getting it done on all fronts, and you can't, the job that Kirby Smart is doing is incredible.
To that end, because you were talking about rings, so that threw me off on a tangent here. But like everybody, I heard them talking about it on the broadcast last night about the Braves World Series rings. And, hey, out here in LA, they were getting a lot of looks for those championship rings that were out there. Like obviously the Braves is huge, and it has a drop down, a little pop top where there's more on the inside of it. And I wonder, like, who will be the first team? Like, honestly, who will be the first team to do like Nux? It's like, I know you want one, but it's like, hey, this is our 4th championship in X number of years. This one's just going to be Nux. So you put it on. It's like you wear it like a fist.
Who's
the
one?
Why not? They're all getting huge.
But this is what they're still doing though, Kevin. All right, well, I guess Justin's the one.
I think the ones who did the Braves. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? But they're still doing it like the Braves all gold. I think like some people may do all platinum. Who's willing to do the color of the team as the ring? Like like if it's now. Okay.
Because everybody likes gold. If you're a champion, you got to have the gold.
Yeah. Or
like if you won, I'm serious. Like if you won the Super Bowl with the Tennessee Titans, and they came out with a 2-tone blue ring, would you be going? Did y'all get this out of the gumball machine?
You know what's crazy?
You said, I want some gold.
You know what's crazy?
Some diamonds.
No, you know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? If it is the Titans to do something like that, I can see a just straight Smurf blue.
That's what I'm saying.
But this is the thing.
Would you want a Smurf ring?
Yes and no. Yes, because number one, it's like you was talking about when Kansas City Royals won, the World Series or the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Some of these things are like a solar eclipse. It's not coming around a lot, right? So what's gonna make it? Because no. Who's gonna do this, Kevin? Why can't you have 2 rings? Like, yeah, we got
the real ring.
We got the real one, and we got the what the hell is that? I mean, because in a sense, right? In a sense. I think people don't gloat enough. Like I said, there is a certain tight end that played in the league when I played. We had him on the show. He would go nameless now, talking trash about my Braves, his Dodgers. Haven't heard from him since. Holla at your homie. You can come back on the show.
Don't name him. Put him out.
George Rice to the
There
home.
you go.
George Rice. It ain't so much that George said that we're going to lose. He called us, quote, my little Braves. What? So what happens is stop taking our players then. Anyway.
That's right.
All I'm saying is, though, Kevin, who's going to do that? Because I think it's now the ring thing, the whole pop the top thing, that's the new thing to come off. These rings are huge, but it used to have a little black on the side with the gold in the front. Now it's just all gold. Because Kevin, because whoever does it, the next team has to do it. Amen. So now we do a ring and we do the color tone.
Yeah. Well, no, now that I think the next one they took from the Braves would be it's the ring, the top pops open, and there's a little flat screen in there where you can, watch Netflix on. In your ring. I mean, why not? They're doing everything else.
Or do they give you your moment? Do they send Soler here? Wham! Like, I'm here. Like,
I mean, I'm trying to think, honest to goodness, like the Braves have like a little bit of everything in there because I think obviously it's gold. They got the diamonds in there. When you pop it open, it's got a field and they put rubies in the outfield where they hit home runs in the World Series. And I think there's a pearl in there somewhere for the Jock Peterson thing. So I think they got like 7 different kinds of stones and stuff in there. Like, it's almost to the point of like,
and I got to say this.
Is it too gaudy at that point?
It is.
But I mean,
you know what it is though? That's one of those things, Kevin. Modesty is not what we're here to do. We're here to be extravagant. Jock Peterson.
If they ask Jock Peterson, then hey, help us design a ring. Am I paying for it? I'm not paying for it. Yeah, throw it in there. Yeah, throw it in there. Throw a few more diamonds in there.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, throw a few more diamonds in there.
Listen, Jock Peterson, wherever you are, sir. Let me tell you.
I know it'd be really cool if you had a diamond stacked on top of a diamond. Just keep throwing them on there. I'm not paying for it. Go ahead. That's what I would like.
Jock Peterson has the greatest rant in World Series celebration history because when he walks up, now we know what he's walking up next. Jock. And everybody's elbowing each other we're like, man, he's not gonna say yeah. And he comes up, what's up, Atlanta? And everybody's looking. And then he says it, and I go, let me tell you something, man. That's a 30 for 30. That we don't appreciate it. Was it Kurt Schilling? Who was the one that said, how about us? Who was that? What picture was that? Was it with the Red Sox? He said, why not us?
Yeah, I forget who it was.
But Jock Peterson, Kevin.
I took that to another level.
But Kevin, I mean, when he said in the headline, obviously that we over here going, let's go, Jock. That's what I'm talking about. But then when he comes up there, it's like he came. It's almost like they're saying. It's almost like Allison Thomas is like Jock. He kind of gave him a look, Jock, like you know who I am, right? Like yeah, what's up, Atlanta? And when he said it, I like how the bleep guy, in live forgot like I didn't. That's Jock Peterson. But hey, man, Jock, I love you. It will go down in history as one of the whatever that 20th anniversary. He's gonna have to do it again. But yeah, man. I mean, the rings are beautiful. The celebration is over. I know we're gonna get
we'll
to
talk
those pesky Dodgers on 3 and out. But yeah, Kevin, man, I don't think this is not the time to be modest. We don't want just give us a ring to say world champs. No, forget that. No.
That's over it though. I don't think like there's I don't know when it's I mean, they were always nice, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I don't know when it started like, hey, would it be cool? Like they had 37 diamonds. We want 38. It's like you just start cramming stuff in there.
You got to do it for basketball, football, baseball. It's not like it's a gazillion of them going out. It ain't but so many. So they thinking and do the same person within the company can do. Hey, I'm the football guy. Why? Or I'm the baseball guy. So when y'all go do them, they'll be like, hey, man, you don't want no diamonds to like every time you turn that thing. Why not, bro? I mean, because think about it. Most guys, unless they married, they don't wear rings. Most dudes, a lot of dudes. I mean, I don't see nobody walking around with,
Well, if you got that much bling on it, are you just walking around public with that thing?
No.
I mean, how much is that Braves ring if you got the real one? Like, honestly.
I mean,
with all those diamonds on it, you got rubies, you got a pearl in there, the top opens, it's gold.
I think at least 50 bands, at least.
I don't know if it's that much, but it's a lot.
It might, but hold on. It ain't the gold one. It's the diamond. Man, look, back in the day when I was thinking I was going to get my then, girlfriend some diamonds. I go up in the diamond store and I'm like, I say, how much is that? He said, oh man, that's a princess cut. Oh yeah, let's do it. I said, how much is that? He said, oh man, this is on sale. What is this? 25? I said, 2,500? 25,000. What? Yeah. And I'm looking, and I'm with the Titans at the time. So they like, it's been. What's up? Hey, they said 25,000. I said, do me a favor, put that back. Yeah, and don't take that back out. Diamonds is everybody's best friends, people, and the best way to get them is for the free.
Somebody else to give them to you. We got more to come here. Filling in for Christian Gokel, Second Down, presented by the Uniform Source.
that just was born.
Good to have you back. I don't know what this music is, but they told me to play it. So Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, filling in for Christian Gokel here on Second Half. Sounds like the remnants of a Cody Queen selection. I'll just say. Cody had an eclectic taste in music. I will say that. It was all over the place. And
I thought it ain't Juice Man. Riding with the Juice Man. Cody's if you always miss Cody. Cody's impressed all over this network, man. You love Cody. But yeah, I don't know what that was either. I didn't know if that was a song or Optimus Prime finna pop up. Yeah. I didn't know what was finna happen. But either
I was
way,
about to hit the dump button real quick. I was like, oh, I don't know what they're about to say. Have these all been screened for cleanliness?
Probably not. I wouldn't bet if Christian embedded that bad boy. So listen, I'm gonna make sure he plays this one. But I'm not here. Christian with the laughs, no matter what.
Yeah, and look, we got 3 and Out coming up in just a little bit. Obviously, Braves and Dodgers just wrapped up. We'll talk with Josh Aubrey of the Statesboro Herald. He will join us. Spring game coming up on Saturday there for Georgia Southern. Also, D. Orlando Ledbetter will join us. We're 1 week out, Ben. We'll try to figure out what in the world the Falcons are going to do because nobody seems to know. And everybody says, well, they could do anything, like literally do anything. And nobody would be surprised at this point. That's either a good problem or a very confusing problem to have.
Yeah, I would say this, Mr. Fano, you will earn your money in 2022 because no one knows what you're going to do. If you listen to Kevin Thomas, you draft back, you draft back, you get more draft picks. If a quarterback or a receiver come off that board, Kevin say he's coming to Fiery Branch with a big bottle of baby powder.
No, I'm not. If they take quarterback, I'm fine. I mean, again, you're just kind of dedicated to the rebuild. I'm not drafting him to play.
Nope.
In any more you draft a first rounder, you want him to go out there, but not with this team as currently constituted. I'm trying to do a lot of building in this draft if I'm Atlanta. So I think anywhere but quarterback. And again, maybe if you take Malik Willis, maybe I could hear that.
Kayvon.
But who's he going to throw to?
Yeah, I would say.
So I think that's the biggest problem is you're giving him nothing.
Yeah, Malik Willis come to the facilities, walk around a bunch of guys who don't know who they are.
At Second Down, we'll see you on 3 and Out coming up next.